Hi, everybody. So in class, I mentioned that we should really start taking advantage of technology to help ourselves prepare for various things like tests and assessments and whatnot. And one of the things I suggested was using AI tools like ChatGPT, Microsoft CoPilot, Meta Llama, and all the other ones in between, Google Gemini, whatever you have access to. Now, ChatGPT, you can see on there, I'm on chatgpt.com. You can register for a site. It's not supported by the school or anything like that. So if you're using your personal account, make sure you don't use any private information or anything along those lines. But anyways, so let's see what I mean by getting support with this. Now, one of the things with these AI tools is that they're very good at being creative in terms of using information they already know to come up with new things. So what I'm going to suggest to you is that we spend some time, just a couple minutes here, and learn how to give it a prompt that will actually help you generate questions to help you prepare for an assessment. So I'm recording this video in the middle of Unit 4 right now, which is all about quadratic relations. So the first thing we want to do when we want to set up a prompt and have a conversation with an AI tool is we want to set up context. You got to tell it how to think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type a message here. We're going to start something new. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to put it in the shoes of a teacher trying to create questions for a student. So let's do it. Let's say you are a grade 10 math teacher in Ontario, Canada. Why do I say that? Because then it will do its research and find the Ontario curriculum, so it knows exactly what we're talking about. You are currently teaching, let's say, quadratic relations. I guess I don't really need the capital there. Quadratic relations. All right. And have covered 4 lessons so far. Oops. 4 lessons. Let's say non-linear relations, which is what our first lesson was, relationships. Properties of graphs of quadratic relations. That's where we talked about the different forms of the equation and the graphs when we drew them. And then transformations of quadratics in vertex form, involving A, H, and K. Okay, let's see what it says. Oh, thanks for the reminder. How can I assist you with your current lessons on quadratic relations? Would you like help planning your next lesson, creating examples, or maybe some teaching strategies? Pretty handy that, eh? So let's give it a prompt. Let's say, you know what? Come up with 3 word problems that would apply these concepts. Now I'm going to give it a little bit more detail because I want to make sure that it gives me the solutions, but I don't want to see the solutions right away because that'll ruin it for me if I'm trying to practice. So I'm going to say, list the questions first, and then show the solutions after all the questions are stated. Let's see what it comes up with. So there's one all about parabolic arch design. That makes sense. A basketball shot, so another parabola. So all these questions are going to be related to parabolas, of course. And they're giving you basically word problems and some ways to approach them and various parts to them. And down below, we can actually see the solution that it's typing out. This is fantastic. So what I would do if I were you is I would attempt these questions. And then once you're done, come down and see what the actual worked out solution is for yourself. So you can see whether you're on the right track, whether you need some help. And you know what? Maybe that was good, but I need a little bit more. How about this? Can you give me 5 more questions? Sure, here's 5 additional word problems involving quadratic relations. Not bad. So it's just going to keep going and going and going. You can see that they're all about these quadratics, which are just parabolas, whether they are opening up or opening down. It doesn't really make a difference. It's still the same idea. And you can see in some of these questions, it is going both directions based on those A values. And it's not giving us really nice numbers, which is good because that's going to give us the practice and experience we need to deal with that kind of stuff. And again, all the solutions. It's still going away at these solutions here. All right, while it's thinking, let's modify this a little bit because students commonly, their biggest concern or their biggest challenge when it comes to assessments is those pesky thinking questions. So let's give it a prompt. It's almost done fleshing out our answers here for all of our questions. I can tell it to stop, but I'm going to let it go that way just in case any of you are watching the video. You can actually take a look at these questions and try them out if you'd like. We'll let that finish. So my question, there we go. My question to it now is I'm going to ask it, well, let's specifically ask it to give us questions in the thinking category. So let's see if this gives us a little bit something interesting. Let's see. Come up with 3 thinking category. Remember, it thinks that it's an Ontario curriculum teacher, so that's part of our curriculum. Come up with 3 thinking category problems with respect to these concepts. It's still a carried on conversation, so it still knows what we were talking about before. List the problems first, followed by the solutions at the end. I have no idea what this is going to put. Well, I guess we'll find out. Thinking category problems. All right, so this looks like it's probably just going to be a little bit more detailed and force you to kind of think outside the box a little bit more. This is great. And again, it's going to give us the solutions just like it did last time. And that's pretty much the gist of it, ladies and gentlemen. These AI tools, that's exactly what they are. I know a lot of people get tempted about having it solve your problems for you, but to be honest, that's not going to help you. At some point in your life, you're going to have to do it on your own. And getting the tools to do everything for you just limits your skill set. So that doesn't mean you shouldn't use them, though. I use them every day in my job. I don't use them to generate everything, but I might use it to say come up with an example that I might give to you in class. I might use it in my own personal programming and things like that in terms of like, maybe I hit a big error or bug in my code and I can't solve it. So it might give me a hint or give me an idea of how to approach it. Or I might have a concept that I want to do, but I've never done it before. So I might type it in and get it to give me some suggestions for strategies. So it is a tool. And there's no reason to be afraid of it. There's no reason to hide it as long as you're using it ethically and you're using it to support your learning, not to replace your learning. You still need to know it. You still need to know these things at the end of the day. It can't write your exam for you guys. Okay? So just to have a little fun and end this thing off, I'm a big fan of using Microsoft CoPilot. Microsoft CoPilot actually uses ChatGPT behind the scenes for its text-based queries. But it also has built-in DALL-E 3, which is like image generation and whatnot. So just for fun, let's create an image. Let's say generate an image of, let's say a humanized. Oops, got to spell properly. Humanized shark, because we are the sharks, Stephen Lewis sharks, fighting a nice math teacher who wears glasses and loves wrestling. Let's see what happens here. I don't like the word fighting. Let's use the word battling. Let's see what it comes up with. All right. Let's see. Creating that epic scene of a humanized shark in a wrestling match with a kind math teacher who wears glasses. Get ready for some wild action. I'm ready. Awesome. This is fantastic. I love that the shark is also wearing glasses. Well, you can see this stuff is fun. Tinker with it, play with it, have fun with it, but make sure that you remember that at the end of the day, it's just a tool. Okay? Just like a calculator, just like a computer. They're just tools to help us. That's it for now. I hope this video helped you. Good luck and get preparing.